YouTube, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Yanni, and we back here with another banger. Guys, today we're gonna be doing a bald taper on the sides and the back, number 3 on the top, because he still wants his sponge with a little bit of the curls. I did struggle with this back taper. If anybody knows about being on autopilot and talking in the shop and you're just cutting hair and not really focused, well, that's really what I went through with this back taper. I really wasn't gonna drop this, but here we are. All right, guys, to kick this haircut off, we're gonna pick out the hair. Once the hair is fully picked out, I'm coming in with my number 3 guard, and that's all the way open, and we're knocking down the hair to that desired length. He still wants it a little bit curled on the top, so we're leaving enough length for his hair to curl with the sponge. Alright, guys, to kick off this back taper, I'm coming in with my Gamma X Evo, setting in that ball guideline, debulking everything underneath, followed by my clipper all the way open. I am using the Gamma X Ergos with the stretch bracket, and we're going to take out that bottom guideline. So guys, this is where I actually made the mistake. If anybody can relate to being on autopilot at the shop and just pretty much just cutting hair and not really thinking about what you're doing, this is pretty much what was going on here with this back taper. I just following my system, not really thinking too much, coming in with my number 1 guard all the way open, setting in my next guideline. As you guys know, this is remote skills. You really don't even have to think too much, but when you don't, you know exactly what happens, and that's what happened here. So instead of using my half guard, you see me using the clipper all the way open to blend out that line, and it did blend out very well. You guys know you can flick that line out. You really don't have to use the half guard, especially when using the stretch bracket on a clipper like this. But that's not where I made my mistake. This is where I made my mistake, since I used the 1 guard all the way open, and here I'm coming in with the 1 guard all the way closed, and that's with the grain. Pretty much what I'm doing is I'm raising the taper more than it has to be, and instead of coming in with my 1.5 guard, I am using the 1 guard all the way open to blend this out. So that's where I made the mistake on this back taper, which caused me to have to bring it up a little bit more. But halfway through this back taper, I locked in, focused up, and I realized my mistakes and just locked in on this haircut and made sure to bring this back taper to life and save it. This is when I started to get back into the flow. So I'm coming in with my number 2 guard instead of my 1 closed, and I am attacking that bulk on top. I'm trying to blend out the rest of that bulk with the 1 guard all the way open, just flicking out any dark spots. And because I had to raise this taper up a little bit higher, it caused me to go into that dent in the back of their heads, if you guys can relate to that. And you guys know that that dent causes it to be darker than the rest of the head, so you have to treat that spot as such and blend it out differently. So here I'm just going to restart this back taper, coming in with the clipper closed, clipper halfway, and clipper all the way open. And then, unlike I did earlier, I'm coming in with my half guard. I didn't use the half guard before, but I'm using the half guard now, which I should have done from the beginning. followed by my number 1 guard, and I am using the Wahl premium guard this time because I was using those Gamma magnetic dubs. This is back when the clipper had just dropped, so this video was recorded a while ago. And like I said, a thing that I didn't do when I wasn't thinking was come in with that 1.5 guard as you see me doing here. And all the hair that the 1.5 guard does not get, you guys know you can take out with the 1 guard all the way open by flicking out any dark spots, and that's what you see me doing here. Coming back with that 1.5 guard and blending the rest of this out, opening my lever as needed as I go up into that bulk. I had to lock in, focus up, and I ended up saving this back taper. It was a little bit of extra work that I really didn't have to do, but this just told me that no matter what haircut, no matter how many times I do a haircut and how good I am at it, if I'm not focused on what I am doing, then I'm going to mess up because I'm pretty much just doing it and not really thinking about what I'm doing. So I definitely encountered that problem here, so I'm showing you guys that being focused and really thinking about what you're doing and why you're doing it and what your next step is going to be really affects the outcome on your haircut for sure. And here on the side, we're going to follow the same steps on the back. This is going to be done in real time. So we're going to come in with our trimmer, setting our ball guideline, clipper all the way open, setting in our next guideline. Then we're going to blend that out with clipper close, clipper halfway, then clipper all the way open until this guideline is blended out. And as you're going to see, guys, I am focused now on this haircut, so this side taper just came in so smoothly. So here I'm coming in with my number 1 guard all the way open, and I am setting in my next guideline. Now that our guidelines are set in, we can blend the guidelines out. So I'm coming in with my number 1 guard all the way closed. I'm attacking that weight that you guys see there. That way I could come behind that with my half guard and blend the rest of it out. And that's what you see me doing here. First, I'm coming in with my half guard halfway open, and I'm closing it as needed. The bulk that you guys see above the number 1 open guideline, we're gonna come in with our 1.5 guard here, and it's pretty much halfway open, and we're gonna come with the grain. It's pretty much gonna lay this hair down and allow us to come back against the grain to blend the rest of this hair out. If I was focused up and locked in like I was on this, then the back would have came out smoothly, but as you guys see, I still saved it, still rescued this haircut, and still pushed through it. So we are always going to encounter adversity, but as long as you lock up, focus up, and give your client the best haircut that you can possibly give them, then it was a success at the end of the day. Alright guys, on this side of the taper, I'm just going to let you guys watch. That way you guys can see how this thing comes together. Especially once we focus up, everything just pretty much starts to happen smoothly, and everything just starts to pretty much take care of itself. Best analogy that I can think for this haircut is comparing this haircut to Lyfe. If you go through life not being focused and you just doing things because you can and because you have to, then it's not always gonna go the way that you want it to. But once you're locked in and you're focused on your goal and what you have to get done, and you put your absolute all into it, you will always achieve the best results. So haircuts are like life, man. We face adversity, but we face them head on and we come out with the best results that we possibly can at the end of the day. Alright guys, here you see me using my Evo. This is the regular Evo first edition, and I am lining him up. I'm lining up the back line, followed by around the ear. I'm using the corner, the heel of the blade to come around the ear. Try not to white wall them, try to keep it as natural as possible. That way the regrowth doesn't grow back looking ugly. Here we're gonna line up the other side. Yes, I know some of you guys like to start with the front. For me, I like to start with the back, which is my favorite part of the haircut. I love putting in this neckline, it's very satisfying. We're gonna follow the same steps, coming around the ear, trying not to white wall them, keeping it as natural as possible. Alright guys, here we're going to set ourselves up for a front taper. It's a light front taper. So here you see me brushing the hair forward. That way I could come behind that with my #1 close and knock this hair down. To prep ourselves to be able to line it up. That way the line can be set in. That way if his hair shifts or moves or he showers or does whatever to his hair, his lineup will still be there. Hitting it with a little bit of spritz, locking it in place with a little bit of heat. Next we're going to grab our trimmer and we're going to start setting in this front lineup. I've been cutting hair for a while now, so I like to start from the corners and work my way to the middle. I always start on the highest point of the line and match it to the other side. Try not to push the hairline back, you know, like don't go chasing a line. Try to keep it as natural as possible. If you have to use a little bit of color by your client's request, and do so. It's all about you consulting your clients and letting them know how to achieve the best haircut possible for them. Here you see me doing the C cups. Even with the C cups, try to keep it as natural as possible. Try not to dig in also with the vertical bar, because when the regrowth starts to happen and his hair starts to grow back, that's when you really start to see the imperfections in a lineup. Sometimes you might have to dig in a little bit in order to catch that line, but as long as you're not making it look unnatural and too far from its natural position, then everything else will work itself out. Hitting that vertical bar, trying to keep it as crispy as possible, meeting the corner of that front lineup. Here guys, you see me using my trimmers and I'm debulking some of that hair in front of the hairline because it was hanging over and giving it that unnatural, like poking out look. So that's why I'm coming back with my trimmer and I'm knocking out any of those straggly hairs that may have been left behind by the #3 open. Alright guys, and as you can see, that taper is in there. This haircut is pretty much done, so we're gonna come in with our razor, stretch the skin 45-degree angle. Shout out to Tune 45 for the razor. Alright guys, and here is the before. This is how my man came looking in. He needed a little bit of love, a little bit of help. We did struggle, but you know what? We persevered, we focused, we locked up, and that's why we have this after, guys. Here is the after. Tell me what you guys think. Did you like the haircut? Did you enjoy the video? Drop a comment below. Show your boy some love. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like on the channel. It's your boy Yanni, and we out this.